everybody, and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be an updated kind of like everyday makeup routine featuring some of my favorite cream products. And I feel like I've been saying this in almost every video, but I feel like cream products are so in right now, and I wanted to do like an updated like everyday, like full face, but like natural glam makeup routine. But the thing that's changed really, like the order of my products is pretty much stayed the same. Obviously, I've gotten some new products and I'll show you some of my new favorite products as well and demo them on my face for you. But the thing that I feel like has changed the most between like last year and this year is how much I've really like delved like headfirst into cream products, especially cream bronzer and cream blush. Like I now do cream contour, even though I've had my contour for a really long time, but I just wanted to sit down and do kind of like an everyday easy makeup routine and just show you some of my new favorite cream products. Yeah, let's just go ahead and get started without further ado. If you guys want to see me get ready, maybe you can get ready as well. Don't forget to please subscribe to my channel, hit the notification bell so you know when I post, and without further ado, let's go ahead and get on into it. First things first, we're going to prime my face, and I've spoken about this primer so much. I spoke about it in my November favorites, which I will link above and below. It is the Wet n Wild Impossible Primer Base. It's a silicone-free primer that smooths, it mattifies, but it hydrates and it grips. So it's a great all-in-one primer. You can see it has like a little bit of a clear consistency, but when you put it onto your face, it doesn't feel thick and it doesn't peel off your face. It kind of feels cooling and it sinks right into your skin. So it is kind of like impossible like in that way, you know? As I spoke about in my November favorites, I had a lot of them in the Sephora VIB sale haul, which I did a try on haul. I will link that video above and below, but I also mentioned in my November favorites that I have really been getting back into using a regular good old beauty blender, and normally I would be too lazy to use a beauty blender, honestly. I don't know why. I'm like, why would I need to walk to the sink to wet this if I can just use a brush or a velour pop? Like I was just like, nah, but there's something so satisfying about the application. And again, I guess going in with a cream theme, I want something a little bit more natural. Like yes, I do like a matte look because I am oily, so 9 times out of 10 I will always set my face, but there's something about applying your makeup with a beauty sponge that I think is awesome, at least your base product. So I love the She Glam Complexion Pro foundation that I've spoken about, but today I'm actually going to go on with something else that I also love. This is the Soap & Glory Kick Ass All Day Wear 24-Hour Foundation, and I have the shade 06. I bought this on sale like almost 2 years ago at Ulta. Wow. And I'll just do 2 pumps like this. And I don't know if Soap & Glory discontinued it, but this is a great foundation. As you can see, it matches me pretty well. I'm just gonna do 2 pumps and blend that all into my skin. It's a great medium coverage, medium to full. You can build it up, but I typically just like doing to a light layer. I'll pounce that into my skin. This is also something that I feel like is different from my past everyday makeup routines, which I will link other versions down below from past years. But yeah, like I said, a beauty sponge, even though it's so OG, like I never would think to like just always apply my foundation with a beauty sponge. It would always be with a brush, 9 times out of 10. And we have a nice light layer. You can see it matches like my natural skin tone very well because I am not self-tanned. Okay, so next up we're gonna go in with concealer, and I know this is very basic. Like I said, the steps haven't really changed, but I'm gonna try to use products that I didn't feature in the last time I did this video. So we're going to use the Wet n Wild Megalast Incognito Concealer, which I've spoken about in my October favorites, which I will also link above and below. This is a great all-day concealer. I have the shade Light Medium. And what I like doing is I just do a little triangle here, and in order to lift my eye, I will just put a little bit on there and then just highlight down the center of my face. And then I also do a little bit up here. To spot conceal, the concealer I have been reaching for like crazy is the Milani Conceal and Perfect concealer in the shade Medium Beige. This is also one of my all-time favorite concealers. It actually kind of looks the same shade as my Wet n Wild one, even though this is medium and that one was light medium, but you know, we're gonna make it work. But yeah, typically I'll go in with a spot concealer that is the same color as my skin tone, and a brightening concealer that's like lighter than my skin color. So actually on top of that Wet n Wild concealer, I'm gonna go in with a NYX Can't Stop Won't Stop concealer in the shade Light Ivory. This is very bright. You can see how bright it is right here. I'm just gonna layer that right on top for some extra brightness, just like that. And we're going to take my beauty sponge and just take the point And I like to blend out my under eyes first. God, there's something so satisfying about watching your concealer like blend in. I don't know why, I love it. I'll flip to the butt of the Beauty Blender, if you will, and just blend in my like spot concealing and basically any other concealer that I've put on my face. And definitely using a Beauty Blender can sheer out the coverage, and obviously it imparts moisture because it is damp. But what I like doing is I like wetting my Beauty Blender maybe about like 5 or 10 minutes before I really sit down and apply my cream products. I'll squeeze it out, and then I'll like also take a towel, like I have a towel on my vanity right now, and I'll squeeze it out there just to make sure it's like still damp but not soaking. Like you can't squeeze it and have water come out. Like I like it to be soft and fluffy and have some of that moisture obviously to blend out the product, but in order to kind of eliminate any excess dewiness or moisture, I will just try to squeeze out as much water as I possibly can. So I'm just going to blend it out there. Okay, cream base done, all good. We've done it before, done it a million gajillion times. The next step that we're gonna do, and I mentioned this in I think my October favorites, where I like to now contour my eyes, and it's not something you need to do every day, but in the sake of doing an updated, like natural, everyday glam with some new steps, this is definitely something I do. I take the Catrice Prime and Fine Contouring Duo Stick. This is in the shade Medium Skin. I honestly never use like the light side. You can see it's like all the way up pretty much, but you can use it to kind of like highlight and sculpt your face. I personally just like using regular like liquid concealer to do that. I know NYX also has like their Wonder Duo or Wonder Stick, and it is like a duo of like a contour and a highlighting stick. But I will take this, you can see this is very loved, and yes, I've had this for a long time, but like I said, I abandoned this for a while because I like literally would never cream contour. I would only like powder contour, if anything. Most of the times I was just using bronzer. But what I like doing is I just like taking a little bit on the top of my cheekbone, so not at the actual cheekbone because we're gonna blend down. I used to actually for a while tinkered with like taking it all the way down, but then I felt that in real life it looked kind of very unnatural because you would just see a shadow. In camera and photos it looked great, but in real life I was like, no. So then I just do a little line. I don't want anything too crazy, and especially if you're going out the door, you don't need to do any of that crazy. So I will just take this side and just blend it down like this on the side of my nose, and then take this and contour just like this. I honestly love doing this, but I want to find a different formula because I honestly feel like this kind of breaks me out. So this is what I will do, and then if you want, you can add a little bit underneath or around your mouth like this, but that is what I do. And I honestly leave my bottom jawline alone because I'll just put bronzer there anyway, because I do apply bronzer on top. Like I just use this to contour, and then I will apply bronzer on top. I look crazy right now, but basically you see every nose is different, right? I honestly don't really care too much about my nose contour. I don't bake, I don't do anything too crazy. I just kind of draw two lines like down the side of my nose. And if you want to round your nose and make it shorter, you can put like a little line right here. I just bring mine all the way down because I do have a pretty short nose. I just want to slim it and give it a little bit of definition. Adding the eye contour, like right underneath your brow bone, whatever it is, because I happen to have a lot of space between my eyebrow and my eye, will add a lot of that definition in that shadow, and it's very subtle, and it could be the only thing that you do. Even if you don't apply any eyeshadow, this is a great tip to do like an all-in-one contour slash eyeshadow look, because it's gonna give your eyes that definition without you necessarily having to go in and apply any eye makeup if you don't want to, if that makes sense. So I'm just going to take a brush. This is probably my favorite like small contour brush. It's the e.l.f. small stipple brush, and it's like a small duo fiber brush. So it's perfect for blending out contour. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just going to kind of stipple this, pat this back and forth. I don't want to drag the product because it's going to lift the foundation underneath. So I'll just kind of do patting motions up and down the cheek to blend out the product. And then I'll just say around my mouth, because around your mouth will make your lips a little bit more pouty. I know some people don't like this technique. I personally don't do it all the time, but I just thought I would do it for today's video. And because I'm a lefty, I hate blending out the right side of my face. Like, I feel like I could never do it as well because you can't see, my arm's in the way. And then any kind of that excess product from the contour, I will drag it up to my cheek. So it adds a little bit of that color. And again, if you don't want to apply blush, you have that color down anyway. Then I will just drag this down the side of my nose. Like I said, I'm not very precise. If you want to like learn how to do a nose contour, like don't watch me, like definitely like people like Nikki Tutorials has her nose contour down, Jaclyn Hill. I personally have not really mastered the nose contour, nor is it something that I really, like I said, care about, because I personally am just like, okay, whatever. But yeah, I mean, maybe one day I will learn, but you can see kind of like the lift it kind of gives your eye and that color that it lays down. So you blend it out to your temple and you drag it out like that. It kind of gives your eyes like a little bit more definition. It's like subtle, but to me, I see a difference. And it's something about bringing that kind of dimension to the center of your face, because you get to create that 3D kind of like look. I'm blending it out just like that. And you can see already, we kind of look a little bit crazy because it's very bright here, but that's okay. Now we are going to go in with cream blush. I'll just show you all the ones I have currently on camera right now. I spoke about the She Glam Color Bloom liquid blush in my last video. I love this one. It's just very pigmented, so you have to be careful. Speaking of liquid blushes that are very pigmented, the Rare Beauty blushes are amazing. You know what, let me just swatch them all for you right now, because this is a cream themed video. This is She Glam Color Bloom and Devoted, like a nice little sponge. Looks like that. Blend it out for you. Dries down to a nice matte formula, very rosy. Then next up we have an OG of mine. This is Rare Beauty in the shade Love, also a matte formula, very pigmented, so you're gonna wanna be careful. Honestly, one dot of this is enough, but it blends out to such a nice, rosy kind of terracotta. And then we have Rare Beauty and Bliss, which is another favorite. They're all really good, but this is like a matte pink formula. I'm just going to put that right here. Really beautiful. Like I said, I typically will buy it in a matte formula. Like it'll dry down matte because I do have oily skin. Oh my God, it looks so pretty. And then we have probably my dewiest blush. This is the Flower Beauty Blush Balm in the shade Nectar. This is also very pigmented. I'm just gonna put it right here. A little drop will do you. And it's a thicker cream blush. I wouldn't say this is a liquid blush, this is a cream blush. You can see how much more emollient and how much further it spreads because it is that cream formula. This is very dewy, so definitely if you have oily skin, you wanna set it down, but it's such a nice, pretty peach shade. Sorry, they're all kind of blending it into each other because this is a very tight top and I can't like roll it down all the way. Very beautiful. I applied this on my cheeks just the other day when I was doing a very minimal, like no foundation look, just some concealer, brow gel, mascara, and some cream blush. And this just makes your cheeks so alive because when you're not applying anything else, it gives you that like nice, dewy rosiness. And then we have my two ColourPop blush sticks, which I've spoken about before. I love these. This one is in the shade Rum Runner. I got this in the summertime. Really beautiful. Sometimes if I'm not going on foundation at all, I will apply it directly on my cheek. But if I am wearing foundation like today, I would rub it on a brush and then dab it in, because that way I feel like it doesn't move around the foundation as much. You can directly control like how much or how little, and you can build it up easier. This one is my OG. This is in the shade Aloha. So pretty right here. Like gorgeous, gorgeous. And then finally, last but not least, what I spoke about or what I hauled in my Sephora video is the Tower 28 Beach Please Cream Blush in the shade Magic Hour. I've been using this so often. It's such a nice shade. It goes on emollient, but it dries down surprisingly matte. So you can see it right there. And yes, they all kind of do look similar, but there's something about cream blush that I really love and it just makes me so happy. So today, maybe we'll just go in with my OG first ever cream blush. I think this is the first ever cream blush I have in my collection. This is the ColourPop blush stick in the shade Aloha. So like I said, I'm just going to run that on my brush. You're gonna wanna use a dense synthetic brush and then tap it in like this. When I do a cream blush, I always wait to powder until I do this because otherwise it's going to be crazy. So I'm just going to put that on both cheeks. And yeah, there we have it, you guys. That is the cream blush. The last cream thing I want to do, I don't know if I've spoken about this on my channel before, I might have, but I want to kind of bronze up my face with the Soul Body Medium Dark Face and Body Bronzing Balm. This is something I'm just going to apply a little bit on top of the contour. You don't have to do both steps, but in the spirit of today's video, I'm going to. And I have the shade Medium Dark. It's vegan, cruelty-free. You can use this all over your body. I haven't tried that, but I just bought it as a face bronzer. What I'm going to do is I'm going to dip directly in here and just lightly pounds that into your skin. There's something nice about kind of going in with contour and then blush and then bronzer on top because it kind of blends everything together. So I'm just gonna take that up the temple. I'm really not gonna apply much. And again, if it looks crazy right now, we're going to set it down with powder so it won't look as crazy. And make sure when you bronze your face, you kind of push it into your hairline so it looks more seamless. I know I look very dewy. And then I'm just gonna take a little bit and kind of drag it on here. Remember how I said we weren't gonna contour because we're gonna put bronzer there? That's what I'm gonna do and kind of chisel that out. So yeah, I look crazy right now, but that's okay. Next up, we're going to go in with powder. So I always 9 times out of 10 will set down my concealer with a brightening banana powder. This is my favorite. I love the Essence one. That's also a really good affordable option, but this is the Ofra banana powder. And I like doing this especially after, obviously, you put in your cream products because it really allows you to set everything down. And my favorite part about this is that because you contoured your eyes, you know, when you blended it in, it could get in the way or like in your T-zone. You can be a little bit more liberal when you contour and blend it out because you just apply the powder and you just drag it down the center of your face anyway. So it kind of eliminates any of that like muddiness, you know? So I'm just gonna apply there, and then I'm actually going to kind of lightly go under the contour to kind of brighten and clean it up simultaneously. We're not gonna really bake, but that is what I do. And then the next step we have is going in with powder. Like I said in my November favorites, I have not stopped using this powder. This is my favorite powder right now. This is the Patrick Starrr One Size Ultimate Setting Powder. I love going with a velour puff with this powder because it just, with any kind of loose powder or any kind of powder in general, because it just helps set your makeup down so much. And even if you don't want to set it down, I recommend just doing a little bit unless you have severely dry skin, because all of this cream product can move around and slip around. So I'm just going to take this and go in here and just kind of lightly veil just like that. Really pounce it into your skin. Like I said, you can use as little or as much powder as you want. Like I've said, when you're veiling, which is like going with powder on top of cream products, even if you think that you've applied too much cream product, too much blush, too much bronzer, you have clown cheeks from all the cream products you put down, that's kind of the beauty of going in with cream products and powder after, is that you can veil and kind of cover that up. If you did too much, you add a little bit of powder and it tones down the pigmentation of the cream products that you applied underneath, and it kind of gives you a little bit more like leeway to go a little bit more crazy or not worry too much about how much product you're initially laying down. And this powder just makes you look like you have a filter in real life, and I always like to drag it onto here. We are good to move on to the brow products. Now honestly, another thing that's changed is that I don't necessarily fill in my brows with pencil every day. What I like doing is I like taking a brow gel. This is my new favorite, the Kosas Air Brow. I actually kind of like going in with my brow gel first, kind of drawing the shape. And then if I'm really running out the door and I'm not doing anything else, like I will literally just leave it like this. But I kind of like doing this step first before going in with any kind of pencil, because this already fills in a lot of what I need to fill in, right? So you can just kind of fill in the gaps where you need it, as opposed to filling in everything and then going with brow gel. Do you know what I mean? Like it kind of lays down the framework for what you actually need to do. So next up, as I mentioned, we're gonna take a brow pencil. Again, this step is completely optional, and I in fact skip this step a lot of the time. My favorite brow pencil for like an everyday, quick, beginner-friendly brow moment is the e.l.f. brow pencil in the shade, is this dark brown? Yes, dark brown. And this is a nice waxy, thicker crayon, so it'll get the job done quick. It's not like a Brow Wiz where you have to really like go in there and get fine strokes in. I just take this and I fill in the gaps and basically kind of trace an outline for anything that I feel needs to be kind of attended to. That makes it easy so you don't have to use as much brow product, actually, in my opinion. Just going to comb that out. Again, this is not like a red carpet ready kind of look. This is just like a nice kind of everyday, if you're going to the office. Like I still kind of most of the time like doing like a full face, if you will, just so I can feel the most confident. But anyway, that's it for our brows. And for our eye makeup, like I said, you don't really have to do much. Sometimes I will take a single shadow, any kind of single shadow will do, rub that on my eyes, or I'll just take a brown shade. You can take your bronzer, honestly. Kind of like adding a little bit of definition like around my crease, so you blend out the concealer. You kind of leave your lid a little bit more bare, and see how you add a little bit more of that lift This is just something that I've been liking to do. Again, this is an updated everyday makeup routine. So, I mean, I have hooded eyes, so I think this personally is pretty complimentary. And actually, no, I feel like even if you don't have hooded eyes, it'll actually look more defined. And I just like blending that through the crease a little bit. And then you can see there's a contrast, but any kind of leftover product, you can just run that on your eyeball. But I like dragging my little bronzer shadow up like this in a wing motion, and then you can even go like this. So connect it up, just so it kind of lifts your eye up. Okay, so my travel makeup bag's in my bathroom and I don't want to get it. But if you're feeling ambitious, you can take a black liner or a dark brown liner. I like using my NYX single shadow in the shade Raven. I'm just gonna take this one because I don't have my single one. This is in the Wet n Wild, my Glamour Squad palette. I'm just gonna take a small Morphe M2 and 3. You can use dark brown, you can use any color, and I just like to press that right on the upper lash line. This is like a natural look, and then I will drag that up. Do it on this side as well. And I don't usually dunk back in to do my bottom, but you totally can if you want to. So that's done, and we're all done for the eyeshadow. I think I've said earlier, like I'm really into matte looks, especially on an everyday basis. So now we're going to curl our lashes and do mascara. Again, very basic. I like using the Tarte lash curler and just kind of pulsate a little bit and press down. I always love using a lash primer, so I'm going to use the Essence Volume Boost Lash Primer, under $5 at Ulta, and such a good primer. You don't have to go in with lash primer. I personally just do because I personally feel like it does make a difference. And it's best to kind of let it sit for a couple minutes so it can really kind of like, I guess, absorb into your lash and give you like the maximum effect. While I wait for that to dry, I will go in and tight line my eyes. So I'm going to take the Essence Neon Eyeliner Shockwave. I do this in almost every single tutorial, Get Ready With Me. This is something that I personally do on a daily basis because I do feel like it makes all the difference in the world in terms of giving your eyes like the extra like oomph, if that makes sense. So I have to sharpen this, but I'm just, whatever. I'm just gonna pull that up and run that up on my tight line. One mascara that I feel like I forgot about that I really have just been getting so into again lately is the Tarte Maneater mascara. And I have a lot of different mascaras. I love the e.l.f. Volumizing Lash Out Loud mascara, another one that I use so often, but I like to rotate through my mascaras like pretty often. But we're gonna use the Tarte Maneater one today. This volumizes and separates your lashes like no other. And you wouldn't think that way because the brush is kind of like skinny, but I swear there's magic in this mascara. Tarte mascaras are great. Too Faced mascaras are great. I love the IT Cosmetics one. The thing is too, you're gonna wanna make sure you do enough coats to saturate and cover that white product. This is a little bit old, so it's getting a little bit dried out, but God, it's so good. And what I like about it too, it has that like kind of ball tip point at the bottom, so you can really get into any lash, any kind of individual situation you've got going on. And what I like doing sometimes is just like running it on my lower lashes like this to kind of coat them all first before I actually go in and define them. All right, so now that we're pretty much done with the face, the last step is going in with lips. Now, something that I've definitely been doing now on an everyday basis is applying lip liner. I personally feel like this makes all the difference in the world. My favorite go-to one right now is the Morphe Sweet Tea Lip Liner. This is a great formula. It's a nice brown shade, really creamy. I have to sharpen it because I literally use this almost every time I sit down and do a makeup look like this. So just gonna take a handy dandy sharpener. I know like brown lips are in for like the fall or whatever, but my favorite kind of nude is a warm terracotta brown nude. Like that is my favorite kind of nude. Above a rose nude, above a peach nude, above a pink nude, like a brown warm nude is my absolute favorite. So I use this all year long. I think I bought this in April actually. Okay, some people like to fill in their lips all the way. I personally do not. I just like doing a little bit of shadow, like this, so the lip color blends in more. Also, I have Little Mix Between Us stuck in my head because they announced that they're taking their break after their tour, which so deserved. Honestly, they have been together for 10 years, but I mean, it's funny because all the comments are like, Taylor Swift exile, like,
I think I've seen this film before, and I didn't like the ending.
Because of like how One Direction like came out with like Made in the AM, their album, and then History after Zayn left, and they broke up. But Little Mix is like, we're not leaving, it's not forever, and I'm like, better not be. I love Little Mix so much. I became fans of theirs. Quick little story time while I look crazy. I became fans of Little Mix after I saw them open up for Ariana in her Dangerous Women tour back in early 2017. I was a senior in college. I heard some stuff here and there, but I wasn't like fully invested until I saw them, and I was like, everything was always on point. Their choreography, their styling, their makeup, their hair, their vocals, everything is on point, and they're exactly the kind of talent I feel like our music industry needs. And they make such good pop songs. Like, I feel like their stuff is original. They're such great personalities. You can really feel how genuinely they care about their music and their fans and each other. It's just such a nice kind of like bond that they have, and it's something that I feel like is very easily felt. Like, you can kind of tell when people are bullshitting, but I feel like they're real, and they're so underrated in the US. If you're a Little Mix fan, what are your favorite songs? What is your favorite album? The Glory Days album, I think that was my first album that I really like fell hard in love with. I love LM5. I think it's such an underrated album, and I love Confetti as well, but LM5 I feel like is one of those albums I did not appreciate at first, or I listened to a lot at first at the end of 2018 when it came out. Oh my god, 3 years ago. And but then I kind of like took a brief hiatus, and then I really started listening to it again, and I was like, every song was so good. Wasabi, justice for Wasabi. If you know, you know. I could talk about Little Mix all day long. If any of you are into Little Mix, please comment down below. Like anything. I love them. Cannot believe I still look like this and I'm talking. Anyway, back to lip products. We're going to go in with liquid lipstick now, and you can go with any kind of lipstick. I love the She Glam liquid lipstick. I've spoken about the Gingerbread Man liquid lipstick. A good nude is what I feel like we need on this kind of occasion. I'm just going to go in with a classic kind of fall nude. This is the Girlactik lip paint in the shade Spice. I love this shade. I wear it all year round, but it blends so nicely with this lip liner, and the formula is amazing. When I apply liquid lipstick or any lipstick, I always like going on top of the lip liner so it doesn't look so harsh, you know, because it is going to fade eventually. But God, it's so comfortable and it dries on so nice. That's pretty much it for our everyday makeup routine. Last step is setting the face on a daily basis. I love just using my Morphe Continuous Setting Mist. This has not changed. Ta-da! All right, everybody, and that was it for this kind of like easy everyday full face makeup routine. This is like an updated get ready with me. I kind of like doing these yearly, I feel. As you can see, I wanted to show you some of my favorite cream products and demo them on my face, because that's definitely a step that has changed from my past everyday makeup routines. The only cream highlight I have, honestly, is a ColourPop Super Shock on the cusp cheek, but I honestly more so use this on like a no foundation basis. I've used this in videos where I did a quick like 5-minute no foundation routine. I love using that, but let me know in the comments below what your favorite cream product is. I hope you guys enjoyed this kind of— oh my god! Wait, speaking of, I don't have highlighter on my face. Anyway, we're gonna go in with highlighter. I am not going to go in with this one. I'm going to go in with something else just for the sake of the video. Let's do something a little bit more natural. I'm gonna go in with the Natasha Denona Glow powder. I like using this on the body too. It's a face and body glow, but I'm just going to kind of put that on my cheek because it's a little bit subtle, but it blends in so nicely. It gives you like just enough. It never looks chunky on your skin. It gives you just enough. All right, and now we're done. Now my face looks a little bit more alive, a little bit more radiant. I have to brush my hair again because I had it in rollers and now I feel like it's all crazy. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments what your favorite cream products are. And don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, please. And hopefully I will see you in my next video. Mwah. Bye.